Hello, class 8 students. Welcome, everyone. So, as we were discussing the chapter microorganisms, friend and foe, right? So, this is the next topic, that is food preservation, which is then given in page number 25. So, food preservation, you see, in chapter 1, we have learned about the methods used to preserve and store food grains, right? We learned about the methods which are used to preserve and store the food grains. Okay, how do we preserve cooked food at home? You know, right? How do we preserve cooked food at home? You know that the bread, when it is left unused under moist conditions, is attacked by fungus, right? Bread, when it is left unused under moist conditions, it is attacked by fungus. Okay, microorganisms spoil our food. Okay, and the spoiled food emits bad smell, it emits unpleasant smell, or say foul smell, and also it emits bad taste. It has what? A bad taste, and sometimes its color may also be changed. Okay, are you getting it? Spoiled food which is caused by microorganisms emits bad smell and has a bad taste, and the color of the food may also be changed. Okay, so is spoiling of food a chemical reaction? What can you say? Is spoiling of food is a chemical reaction? Yes, spoiling of food is a chemical reaction. Okay, so the food materials, lots of food materials are there, right? Say example, milk, fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, right, and cooked food also. So these food can get spoiled very easily. Why it happens? Because first of all, they contain a lot of water. These food materials contain a lot of water in it, and due to which the food spoiling microorganisms, or due to which the microbes, or say microorganisms, can grow in them very easily. The microorganisms can grow on the food very easily because they contain a lot of water in it. So we can prevent the spoilage and contamination. We can prevent the spoilage and contamination of food materials by proper methods or by proper techniques. By proper methods or by proper techniques of food preservation. So this process in which the food materials are given a suitable physical or chemical treatment to prevent their spoilage is called food preservation. Okay, now you see the next paragraph. Paheli bought some mangoes, but she could not eat them for a few days. Later, she found that they were spoiled and rotten. But she knows that the mango pickle her grandmother makes does not spoil for a long time. She is confused. Okay, you understood this paragraph, right? So let us study the common methods of preserving food in our homes. We have to save it from the attack of microorganisms. Okay, we have to save it from the attack of microorganisms. You understood, right? What is food preservation? It is a process by which the food materials are given a suitable physical or chemical treatment so that the food can be prevented from by getting spoilage. Okay, by getting spoiled, it can be prevented. Okay, it has to be prevented. Okay, from getting spoiled. So this process is only called as food preservation. Now the method to be used for preserving a particular food material depends on the nature of the food material, first of all. Okay, so different types of foods are preserved by using different methods. Different types of food, just this point has to be clear, that different types of food are preserved by using different methods of preservation. Are you getting it? You cannot, to preserve the pickles and all, achars, to preserve the pickles and all, what you add? You add mustard oil, you add vinegars and all, right? Are you getting it? But you cannot preserve the pickles by keeping it in refrigerators. Yes or no? So different types of food for different types of food, different methods are to be used. so that it can be preserved. For different types of food, different methods has to be applied so that it can be preserved. Are you getting it? It completely depends on the nature of the food material you are using. Okay, so first of all, chemical method is there. First of all, what method? Chemical method is there. So let's go through it. Preservation of food by using special chemicals as preservatives. Okay. Yes, first of all, salts and edible oils. Salts and edible oils. Edible means which can be consumed, which can be eaten. Okay, those oils which can be consumed by us are called edible oils. So salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. So therefore they are called what? Preservatives. They are called preservatives. Okay, we add salt or acid preservatives to pickles to prevent the attack of microbes or microorganisms. Also say special chemicals which are used as preservatives in the preservation of food are your sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite. Okay, what are these? Sodium benzoate, you have to remember the name. Okay, sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are used to preserve foods like jams, jellies, juices, squashes. Okay, so as to save them from spoilage. Okay, so sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are common preservatives, and these are also used in, yes, as I mentioned, jams, squashes to check their spoilage. Okay, next one is preservation by common salt. So yes, common salt prevents the growth of food spoiling microorganisms, due to which it is used to preserve a number of food materials. Basically, common salt, you have seen, right? I think. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish. Basically, common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Okay. Meat and fish are covered with basically dry salt to prevent the growth of bacteria. So meat and fish do not get spoiled easily and they remain good for a long time. Are you getting it? Okay. Also, common salt is used to preserve fruits such as raw mangoes, lemon, amla. Okay, in the form of their pickles, right? So common salt does not allow bacteria or fungus to grow on fruits and vegetables, and this common salt will preserve it. Okay, are you getting it? So common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Okay. Next, preservation by sugar. Now, use this sugar. Sugar is used as a preservative in making jams, jellies. Okay. Sugar is used as a preservative in making jams and jellies from what? From fruits. Right. So sugar will reduce the moisture content. Sugar actually reduces the moisture content from the fruits, which will inhibit the growth of microorganisms like bacteria. Okay, which will this bacteria will spoil the fruits. Okay, so sugar is added. Sugar is actually reducing the moisture content. Sugar reduces the moisture content from the fruits, And if moisture content is reduced, then the growth of microorganisms will get inhibited. Okay, microorganisms will not be allowed to grow in it when the moisture content will be reduced after adding sugar. Okay, so the fruits which are preserved in the form of jams or say jams, yes, jams and jellies by using sugar as preservative are what? Apple, mango, orange, strawberry, pineapple, guava, and etc. and etc. Okay, so the fruits preserved in the form of food materials like jams and jellies can be stored safely for a considerable time and it can be used later. Are you getting it? So, jams, jellies, and squashes are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture. Sugar reduces the moisture content, which inhibits the growth of bacteria, which spoil the food. Okay. Next is preservation by oil and vinegar. Mustard oil, basically. Mustard oil. You've seen mustard oil, right? Mustard oil and vinegar are widely used as preservatives for the preservation of fruits and vegetables in the form of pickles, in the form of achars. Okay, so the use of mustard oil or vinegar prevents the spoilage of fruits and vegetables because food spoiling bacteria cannot live in such environment. Okay, food spoiling bacteria cannot live in the environment of mustard oil or vinegar. So, some of the fruits and vegetables which can be spoiled easily are preserved in the form of their pickles by using mustard oil or vinegar. Okay, so use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such environment, right? And vegetables, fruits, fish, and meat are often preserved by this method. Okay. Next is your heat and cold treatments. Heat and cold treatments. That means preservation of food by heating and preservation of food by cooling. So you must have observed your mother boiling milk before it is stored or used. Yes. Boiling, what it does, you have to raise the temperature of the substance, right? So boiling will kill many microorganisms. Okay, boiling will kill many microorganisms. Basically, heating kills many microorganisms and prevents the food from spoilage. So some foods can be preserved just by heating it. Example, as mentioned already, that we boil milk to prevent it from spoilage, right? We boil milk to prevent it from spoilage. When we heat the milk during boiling, then what happens? The bacteria present in the milk gets killed. So the boiled milk remains good for a longer time and it does not get sour quickly. It does not get sour quickly. Okay. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator, right? Yes or no? We keep our food in the refrigerator. And what is the temperature in the refrigerator? Low, right? Cool. The temperature is very low, right? So low temperature also inhibits the growth of microbes. Low temperature also inhibits the growth of microbes. Okay, low temperature inhibits the growth of microorganisms or microbes. So the the bacteria, you can say, food spoiling bacteria, right? So the food spoiling bacteria do not grow in cold conditions. Okay, they do not grow in the low temperatures. Okay, so when food is kept in cold places like refrigerators, then the food does not get spoiled. It remains fresh. It remains fresh for a much longer period. Are you getting it? Okay. Yes. Next, one small paragraph is there. You see what is written over here. Why does the milk that comes in packets not spoil? My mother told me that the milk is pasteurized. So what is pasteurization? What is pasteurization? See, first of all, a French scientist named Louis Pasteur. Okay, what is his name? Louis Pasteur. Okay, Louis Pasteur. So he has given a method of preserving the food. So this method is called pasteurization after his name. Okay. So actually the method of pasteurization is used for the preservation of milk in milk dairies. Okay, milk dairies, or say dairies, yes, milk dairies. Okay, and it involves the process of heating. And cooling. Both processes are involved in the method of pasteurization. Okay, both heating and cooling method is involved in the method of, or in the process of pasteurization. Okay, so what happens in this method? Let's study. Firstly, the milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds to kill most of the bacteria present in it. Okay, the milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds. Okay, for 15 to 30 seconds it is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius. Then the most of the bacteria present in it will get killed. Most of the bacteria present in milk will get killed. Okay, next, the hot milk is cooled very quickly to a low temperature to prevent any remaining bacteria from growing further. Okay, then what is written here? Suddenly chilled and stored, right? Suddenly it is chilled and stored. That means the hot milk is cooled very quickly to a very low temperature to prevent any remaining bacteria from growing further. If any remaining bacteria is there, then it will not grow in cold temperature. It will not grow in cold temperature or low temperature. Okay. And then this method, or this milk is stored in refrigerators. Basically, this milk is stored in cold temperature, or say cold conditions, in refrigerators. Okay. This is only the process involved in pasteurization. So pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling because it is free from harmful microorganisms. Okay, during the heating and cooling method, all the microorganisms will get killed only. Okay, no microorganisms will be allowed to grow in it. Will not be allowed to grow in the milk. Okay, all the microorganisms will get killed by heating and cooling process in this method of pasteurization. Okay, so Louis Pasteur was he also discovered fermentation, right? I have discussed in the class fermentation. Yes or no? Fermentation. Okay. So this is about pasteurization. One more method is there, that is preservation of food by storing and packing. Storage and packing is involved here. Okay, storing and packing. So these days, dry fruits, vegetables, these are sold in the market in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microorganisms on them. Okay, so this helps the dry fruits and vegetables to remain unspoiled for a much longer time. Okay, so with this I'll stop the video. I'll just conclude the video. So these are the methods which are involved in the preservation of food. Okay, these are the methods which are involved in the preservation of food. And remember that the process of preservation of food depends on the nature of the food materials. Okay, the method which is to be applied for preserving the food material, right? It depends on the nature of the food material. Okay, so different types of food are preserved by using different methods of preservation. Clear? Okay. Okay, so we'll continue the chapter in the next day. Two more topics are there, uh, nitrogen fixation and nitrogen cycle. Okay, so yes, we'll discuss this in the next video, and then the chapter will be completed. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.